Welcome to Beyond Soup, where I put up all sorts of stuff. And today we have a Sony 400 disc CD changer that's not working properly. And usually what's wrong with these units is that the belts that controls the carousel and the CD mechanism is broken, and that's what I feel that is what's going on with this item. So I'm gonna go ahead and check it out, and if it is, I'll show how I change the belts on these things. And so if you have one, you may be able to do the same thing. Anyway, I'll go and turn this on, and what happens usually is that you can hear the motor like that and nothing happens, but you can open the door, but as you can see, the carousel doesn't move. So again, that's usually the case with these things because they were built in early 2000s. The belt usually either goes out, meaning that it breaks, or it just deteriorates. And I'm hoping that it's more like it breaks, because when it deteriorates, it becomes a sticky, gooey mess. But let's go ahead and open this up and we'll see what we get out of this. And just continue to pause this and you'll see the progress with this repair. Okay, so I've gone ahead and taken out the screws on this thing so I can open it up. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 total. 2 on top, 2 on each side, and 3 in the back. And so once you take those off, all I usually do is just pull the top off. So hold on. Okay, so I've gone ahead and just lifted off the little casing, and here is where the problem lies. There are 2 belts, and you can see there, and then another belt. Let me see. There you go. And there. And as you can see here, they're pretty much, they broke. And I'm hoping it's not not melted, or else I have to clean that up in order to put the next belt over. Okay, so hold on. Okay, so here are a couple of things that I usually use to get to the belts. It's either a pick like this or some tweezers, and you'll need this in order to get to it. The difference between the 400 disc and the 300 disc changers, you'll see that the 400 disc has rails and a board on top. Luckily, with the 400 disc changers, you don't really need to touch that. You just need to get access up there, which is a lot easier on the 400 disc changer than the 300 disc, which I'll do another video, a separate video on how to get to the belts, or how to replace the belts for the 300 disc. But at least for this one, it's going to be much easier. So I'll go ahead and I'll show you see how kind of, if this breaks, or pretty much like if I try to just force this off, it'll just leave a gooey mess. So I have to be really careful once I start to try and pull this out. See how that just kind of almost melted. This is going to be a harder one again, only because this is when the belt is really deteriorated and it just becomes a gooey mess. And I'll show you that really quick. and see how it just becomes very sticky like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to this thing and just try to scrape it carefully off the wheels or the cog wheels, and then so we can put the new belts in that I have. All right, so let me pause this. Okay, so I thought I'd show you a little bit of how to just carefully take this off. It'll again be a little sticky. You don't want to get this on your clothes, or else it's gonna get ruined. But at least just wanted to show you a little bit of what comes out again. Here it is. So that's the belt. It's just melting away pretty much. And so I just have to get it out of that. And I at least wanted to show you just how you would take it off slowly. And then you'd have to clean it with a little bit of alcohol, and so your new belts will work properly when you do put it on. Okay. All right. Because these belts are melted almost on the wheel itself, I'm ending up taking off the back panel here. And there are multiple screws that you take off here, and this will literally pop off, so we have better access to the belts. Okay, and because we have to clean it nicely, we need to make sure that we can access this. So I've gone ahead and take that off, and this isn't always the case with these changers. A lot of times the belts are just loose because they're worn, but they simply come off. This is just the worst case scenario where the belts have just deteriorated. So I'll go ahead and clean it all up, but I did want to show you that you have also access to this area just by taking off the back panel where the mechanism or the CD mechanism is at. Okay, that took a bit of time, taking out all that belt residue from the pulleys here and there. And luckily the other pulleys didn't have the belt stuck in it. But this is what it looks like. That's how much of the goo stuff got left and what I had to pull out. And again, this is the worst case scenario. Normally this would be a 15-minute job to just replace the belts, but because this thing got really old and it sat for a long time, that's what happens. And I had to take out. I use Goo Gone, and this cleaner, and I had to get it. I had to use it with little bits and pieces of cloth just to clean it out. But now that we've got it cleaned up, now we're ready to put the belts back in. So let me show you the belt. So here are the replacement belts for this. There's two different kinds actually. This is a rounded belt, and this is a square belt. I'm more partial to the square belt, but because I have two of these and I only have one of these, I'm going to use the rounded belt for this job. And they're usually measured in inches, and how you measure it is you stretch it across a ruler like this, and the size of this is a 5.4 inch belt. So if you stretch it like this, you should be able to get 5.4 inches. If it was a straight a straight belt, meaning that if this was cut and you measure it. But that's just how they do it. For these changers, it is 5.4. Also, you can get away with 5.5 as well, just depending on the thickness. Anyway, so it's time to install these onto the pulleys. So I'll go ahead and do that using, again, my tweezers. And basically what you usually just want to do, and I'm trying to do this with one hand, is basically take that and literally go around like this. And then, oh, I have to do it with one hand. Anyway, you get the point. You just got to get it around, and then get it in there. So I'm gonna have to pause it again. Okay, so the hardest part of this is just getting the belt under to get to that back pulley, but I was able to get it and then show you at least that you can just get it down like that and then release it, and then there you go. As you can see there, both are now in place. The tension is correct. I can grab it from here. The tension is correct here, and that's pretty much it. So it really is that much easier if just the belts weren't so melted onto the pulley. But that's what you need to do. You just need to get it there using some of your tools like this, like tweezers, and you're good to go. So let's go and do this test really quick and see if everything is okay. So now that I've got the changer plugged in, we can turn it on. As you can see here, that it's moving nicely. That back pulley and is working nicely. And then when we open it here, and then when we close it again, it goes all the way around. Now it's time for us to put a disc in it. Go ahead and put a disc. Make sure that the face, keep label facing to the right, and you'll see that what it does is it takes that first pulley is the one that works for that, and it's going ahead and reading the disc, and there we are. And if we push play, we should be able to have it work. There you are. So that's it. That's what you got to do. You just got to put all the screws back in. And as you can see, everything's working nicely. Let's go ahead and eject it. Stop that. Push the eject button or open. There you go. All right, well, that concludes this quick how to change the belts on a Sony jukebox mega changer. This one happens to be the CDP-CX450. It's this. I'll do one on the 300 disc changer because it's a little different. It's a little bit more cumbersome when it comes to taking some of the supports apart, so you can get to those belts. On the 400 disc, it's a lot easier because you can access it from here without taking all of this apart. All right, I hope that helps you guys. If you like these kind of videos, Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That is Beyond Soup, where I put up all sorts of stuff. And again, today's stuff was changing the belts on these Sony units. All right, have a good day, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.